Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. I am your host, your purveyor of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I am Grumm. Hello. It is good to have you all here. Hello. It's good to have you. Good to have you. Hello. That's right. I did it 3 times, 2 different times. I'm that good. Fun episode this week. I do want to give a heads up. Next week's episode is recorded. Not yet edited together, but life's been a little bit busy and things and whatnot, and I haven't been able to exactly get together with people and schedule some interviews the way I would like them to do, and recordings and whatnot. So not next week, but the week after, the week before American Memorial Day, there might not be an episode, but I'm gonna try to get one there in between now and then, but. We do have an episode this week, and that's what's important, right? That's why you're listening here. We've got the CPFs, the close personal friends, the close podcasting friends. We got Diggy, we got JTR. A good. I said it last week. The New England area connection is strong. Good episode. Love these two. It's a fun episode. We're talking about the Duchess of Queensberry match between William Regal and Chris Jericho. In terms of gimmick matches, this is one of those, like, I don't think they just had the idea and then they didn't really do anything about it for a little bit. In that, like, the rules, no one knew the rules, and that was the whole gimmick of the whole thing, right? No one knew the rules except William Regal, who was, abusing his time as a commissioner, as kind of being able to finagle things and whatnot. So it's a fun match. We go over, we talk, with 2 wrestling fans. Well, Diggy's getting back into wrestling. JTR, we've talked about, has been a wrestling fan, but this is before JTR's time. So, like, we're watching this, and it's a fun one. It's also a good match. I think this might actually be legitimately the best match that we've ever actually watched on Dork Side of the Ring. It's just a preposterous idea, and it's been good. The commentary is strong. It's a good match. It's a fun time, and it's myself, JTR, and Diggy talking about the Duchess of Queensberry match between William Regal and Chris Jericho. And we're going to watch it and talk about it and laugh about it here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. But do you know what's funny, right? Remember we were talking about, we were trying to figure out, like, waiting for Sting's Paul Pierce at ESPN, like, having fun. Like, he's having fun. Yeah. Like, I look back on that, we're 100% right on the, like, the comparison.
We did a good job. I'm proud of ourselves.
Yeah, like I thought.
It pains me to say how accurate that really was.
Right, but like it's like somebody I shared it with somebody, or posted under one of Biz's like talking about Paul Pierce or something like that, like a tweet, and somebody DM'd the Dork Side Twitter. And was like, how fucking dare you? Like, that's disrespectful to say that Paul Pierce isn't, like, a legend. And I'm like, we found
broads that
I was like, first off, we never said that he wasn't a legend. Or
listen, Paul Pierce is a legend.
They're just both legends because of other people around them. Like, by themselves, they would have been like, oh, they're really good guys and iconic team guys. Like, oh, he played, but. Also, I highly doubt if they never made those trades, Paul Pierce was going to be staying there. But that's, it's a alternate timeline that never happened.
There you go.
But yeah, it was just like the fandom is wild, right? Because I posted
in
that
general.
Somebody was talking about Sting, right? And I posted under Sting, same thing. No one came like, how dare you disrespect Sting? Because we didn't disparage Sting. We just said that, compared him to, individual players. And, the like, as soon as I said something about Paul Pierce, somebody's in my inbox. How dare you? Ready. I was like, I didn't say anything bad. We just said that, his standing is boosted by playing with good players. That's the case for a lot of people. Hey
man, all you did was compare one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Exactly that. That's exactly what we did.
It's just wild. And the reason why I was thinking about that, like the other day, I was listening to Eric Bischoff's podcast, and he was talking about like Conrad tried to give him like credit for like making bigger stars out of guys who were already stars, like Sting and and whatnot. And he was just like, I guess, And then Conrad's like, look, I don't think no one was banging the doors for Surfer Sting, And then my brain was like,
blonde hair Sting did not have the juice.
No, he didn't. Like, it was just no one cared about. I mean, not no one cared. He was absolutely the number one guy. It's just he wasn't selling tickets, right? But people were buying Starrcade '97 to see that man wrestle, Hulk Hogan, and that's
and
Hollywood
very much
Hogan,
like the beginning of Paul Pierce's career. No one was buying tickets to see the Celtics back then. Correct.
Listen, you're telling me you didn't want to see some Marcus Banks, Diggy? You know it is.
Antoine
Gary Payton. You didn't want to see the Glove live in the Garden.
Glove, not at that point. That was not the Glove anymore.
I completely
that was a hand warmer.
It was for fingerless mittens. Those were.
Oh no!
Shout out Ricky Davis though.
Yes, always.
It's just finger. Look like the Wet Bandits gloves.
Oh man.
We're here on the Dork side of the ring. We've got ourselves a New England connection because I'm putting respect on Rhode Island's name. We've got Diggy and JTR. Welcome back to the pod, gentlemen. Hello.
Pleasure to be here. An honor to be here once again. Thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure to talk to my pals.
Mm-hmm. It's good. This is good. You guys. It's funny. You guys are episode 2 and 3, so the earliest combos. Because I had a repeat with the Grapple guys. That episode went out this week. And
sensational.
Chaos.
Great episode, by the way.
Thank you.
Chaos.
My favorite bit of like feedback was Chet going like Grumm breaking down how a Grapple Guys episode is to the T and hilarious. Like, and then I'm listening to their review of it. I'm like, hey, Jim Jam was at night too. This should be good. 45 minutes of their hour and a half podcast is just banter. And I'm like, they don't need to talk about, it was also funny. I don't know. It was funny to like have.
They found the winning formula.
They did. They really did. Season 1 of Grapple Guys is in the book. Congrats to them.
Congrats to the Grapple Guys.
Yeah. Claps.
But we got 2 grappling guys of our own. They didn't like when I called them Grapple Boys, by the way. I mean, I just called them Grapply Boys, and they.
Yeah, that's Hale Grumm coming out. The Grapple Boys.
Grapple Boys. We got 2 of our own here, Diggy and JTR. Diggy, if you want to reintroduce yourself, allow yourself to reintroduce yourself to the listeners, and to introduce yourself to those who may have not heard your previous episode.
What's going on? Diggy here. You can find me on Twitter at bdig89, mostly just Celtics tweets, so if you're into that, feel free to take a look. But been watching wrestling consistently for the last year now. I watched growing up in the Attitude Era, had about a 10-year hiatus, but the Tribal Chief has gotten me back. He got me back in, and been going strong for the last year again with the new stuff.
Let's go.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Our Tribal Chief, I should say.
Love our Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. The island of relevancy is now a place of love. It was just beautiful. JTR on the other side of the table. Same for you. Reintroduce yourself and introduce yourself to those who may not have heard your previous episode.
Hey, I'm JTR. I just do things. I just live. I just do whatever. Sometimes I feel like a little slander, but it's all in good jest. But I'm just here for a good time. That's pretty much what we're here for. The PG era is the most disrespected era in professional wrestling. I want that on the table now. You cannot recreate the greatness that John Cena and Randy Orton had back in those days, and you can't tell me different. So that's my roots of this wrestling stuff, Grumm. That's where I come from.
Yeah. No, it still blew my mind then, and still does when it's like, oh yeah, JTR is like a youngin. Like he grew up with Sting and Impact, not even in WCW.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
the
damn.
First time I saw Kevin Nash was in TNA. So
it's a a sad
Shout
time.
out to TNA, but
Paparazzi Productions, though, right? The good Kevin Nasher.
Main Event Mafia.
Oh
Woo!
yeah. All right, good. As long as it wasn't the band was your first. The band was bad. That was not good.
No.
EU.
They replaced Hulk Hogan with Eric Young. An upgrade in many ways, if you ask me.
I was out by that point. At that point. I'm like, I just don't know anymore.
Well, we got you guys here. It's good, 3 wrestling fans, so this is going to be one of those episodes that's heavy with the wrestling talk. But I think I got a good thing for us this week. But we'll get to that in a little bit. You brought up Roman Reigns, Diggy. You guys have both watched our tribal chief become the undisputed Universal Champion of the WWE.
He's in God mode, Grumm.
He's on.
Smashed him, stacked him. Yes,
it's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful what he's doing. And I thought for sure that he had a torn bicep. That shit was torqued, and that shit was red.
That shit looked nasty at that
match. What a WrestleMania!
What a mania!
That was top 3 manias I've watched live. Right? Like I don't know if I could be like, oh, like it's better than 17 or this one that happened. But watching live for the as it was happening, 38's up there. Like
for sure.
Night 1 was incredible. Night 2, the Jackass match.
Oh my god, that was the thing. It hit on all levels. You had great matches between like Bianca with her incredible match with Becky. That was fantastic.
She was a star. A star.
Oh.
That's right.
The band entrance. Come on now.
The only bad thing about that entire was the fact that Corey Graves said, "What the hell is this?" Probably at the wrong benefit of the doubt. Like if you were to give him the benefit of the doubt, it's bad timing because he could have been like, "What's this?" When you see just the instructor and the two guys marching, you're like, "Well, what the hell is this?" But Kevin Dunn did him dirty and cut straight to the marching band walking out as he's saying it. Like he had committed in his brain to be like, "I'm going to say what the hell is this," and I know exactly what this is.
I think I said it right away.
Yeah, it's a march. As soon as I saw him, like, bam, HBCU. Like, yes, this is great. And we were in my Discord watching it, and we're trying to figure it out. And I'm like, is that Texas? That's Texas Southern. And we're like, we go check. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it is. It's just incredible. Just somehow, Becky's like entrance was big star, and it was just a guy driving around.
Big time.
But it's big time Bex, and it felt big time. And then Bianca comes out, looking like a star, and just
the star.
Is just it. That's her mania. Like the last year, mania was hers. This year, it's hers. Undefeated.
That was one of my favorite Becky matches of all time. I mean, obviously Bianca put on a hell of a show, but Becky playing the heel and throwing the temper tantrum when she couldn't get the pinfalls.
Yep.
Oh, incredible.
They did a great. I feel like Becky has some really good matches, but it's the matches. Weirdly enough, it's the matches where you're like, she's got no chance in winning this.
True.
Like, because she's just really good at making you go, oh wait, she might actually win. Even as the heel, like the NXT Fatal 4-Way was the 4 Horsewomen. Going in, I knew, I'm like, there's no way that that Becky's winning, right? And it was the debut of like her steampunk entrance and everything, and I was like, there's no way she's winning, not happening. And then the course of the match, you're like, oh, she might win, and then she loses, but she gets a standing ovation. That's a standing ovation loss at WrestleMania, because it was just so, it was
a great match.
I'm like, do it.
Beautiful.
Fantastic
it was
story.
Beautiful.
Starting the match off, running the same beats as a SummerSlam match. And it's like, ooh, so good.
Got everybody again.
Everybody's no, and
the whole crowd, that whole front row was like, "Are you kidding?" And then you see the sigh of relief come over them after.
And Jim Jam had said this, and I meant to get in his ass about it, but he was like, "Oh, WWE has a way of taking their fuck ups and working them into the long term story," and I'm like, hear me out. What if that's just the story, right? What if the story is Bianca being humbled, right, a little bit, where she gets caught off guard, she's got to eat crow, she goes to the back of the line and does everything right because that's what the babyface does. They don't throw fits, they just say fuck it, like they put their nose to the grind and they work. And that's what Bianca did, which made the win even better because for the last 6.5 months, she's been building herself back up to get back to where she was supposed to be, where she was, where as an audience you feel she was cheated of that. But it's like that's the story.
That, and it builds up the whole feud even more with the whole Becky, I haven't lost the title in 2 years, so now Bianca is the first one to take it off Becky in 2 years, and a great story after what happened at SummerSlam. I think they did it great.
She's the first woman to beat her, I think, in general. I don't think she's lost even non-title matches. I think Bianca, or not Bianca, but Becky hadn't lost a match since she lost to Asuka, I think, at TLC 2018. I think that was it. I think that's about it. And like from there,
I think too, and I can't remember anything.
Like there might be like some like non-title Raw loss, or I guess she did lose the SmackDown title to. So she lost the SmackDown title to Charlotte that Money in the Bank 2019. But
yeah,
for almost 3 years she was undefeated. And sure, that she had a year and a half off after being pregnant and being a mom. But that still goes into it. She hasn't been beaten in 3 years. Like it's just
yeah.
It's just wild to think about. And Bianca has beaten 2 horsewomen at WrestleMania. She's beaten Bayley multiple times
correct
on pay-per-view. That Charlotte one's gonna baby.
Oh yeah,
gonna be
that's
nice.
That's gonna be something.
That's gonna be Hollywood. You got it. They just don't let them touch.
That's gotta be next year. Like it makes too much sense.
I hope they build it in a similar way. Not in a similar way where Bianca's like fighting her like to build herself back up again, but I hope they do like a good long build and don't try to microwave this shit and try to get it quick, like a couple months before Mania.
Because they haven't even interacted, right? Like they haven't even like
since NXT when she said, "Girl, you don't even go here."
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but like, I guess in this context,
yeah. Well, they're on the same level. Like it's very clear that Bianca is on the same level as Becky, Bayley, and Charlotte and Sasha. Like it's very clear that there are 5 legitimate stars in the women's division, like in WWE, and like because you'd be like, well, Asuka's kind of there, but Asuka always would fall below the 4 of them, and you could say the same. Like Rhea's kind of up there, kind of.
He still got greater heights to go to.
Correct. Yeah. Like I think I think the fact that they know that like Bianca's like I think she's 31. So it's one of those like she's going to have a whole life. She wants to have a whole life ahead of herself. Like she's talked openly about being a mom. Like she's talked about how like Becky being a mom and doing this at the height inspires her to do the same. So yeah, she can have a kid and still perform. No one's saying she can't, but WWE has to be like, all right, cool. We've got to work quick because she's not as young as some of the other women. Like Rhea Ripley's 25, I think. So if
is Rhea that young? I did not know that.
Rhea is young. It's one of those things of the sooner they're on TV, that's why they started putting Braun Breaker so much on TV, was because they want to establish that this guy is something that you should be on the lookout, even if you're not watching NXT 2.0. But he's also 24, 25. And it's going to take
He was in the Madden game.
It's going to take him some time.
He was in Madden 21.
It's going to take
him.
He
was an undrafted free agent. I signed him every time.
You got to make sure. You got to have look, if your team doesn't have Baby Steiner
back on JTR's team every year. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Belichick would be proud.
JTR signed him, switched him to a receiver, and then played with the stats a little bit, and then said, "All right, go across the middle." The safeties are the one who are now concerned about going across the middle.
I was like, "You kidding me? Middle linebacker, bro."
It's just like
parking before the play starts. Absolutely, that's great.
The whole just. The Braun Breaker presentation is. I don't know. Did you guys watch Stand and Deliver at all?
I did.
Okay.
I did not see it.
Okay, so he comes out and they redo the the NXT, like breaking NXT, but now he's breaking NXT 2.0 and he's got a chainsaw, and they hand him a chainsaw that's like 2.0-ified, like it's all got tie-dye colors on it, and I'm like, that's a steal. That's a steel chainsaw. That's a quality machine right there. And he just
Related to it, I love the new belts.
love them.
I love the new belts.
They just feel different, right? Like it
Yeah.
sets, like I've talked about this before, but like NXT was it was getting to where it was not what it was supposed to be. Like Triple H kind of lost the vision a little bit, and not so much as losing the vision, but the whole point of NXT was to create new stars. And when you're running out the same guys for 4 years, like Johnny,
at that point, it's its own thing. At that point, you know what I mean? Like they're not graduating to that next level.
And I'm sure the pandemic may have had an inverse effect, because if you remember, the NXT Portland happens, and everybody's it's Keith Lee and Dijakovic have an incredible match. Bianca and Rhea have an incredible match. They built, and then this leads to Charlotte being involved to give credibility to NXT, coming off of the 2019 Survivor Series with NXT, being better than Raw at the very least. And I think there was a path before the pandemic that was, hey, we're going to have NXT be a brand. It's going to be a legit third brand, and it's going to be unique in that it's these kind of wrestlers. It's this kind of presentation. It is a alternative to our actual three brands. And then we'll have, because at the same time they bought Evolve, they brought in Gabe Sapolsky. They were like, all right, cool. You're going to be like, we're trying to do a NXT for NXT, when it's just like, we just want NXT to be a third brand and we want to have our developmental. But then the pandemic happens and shit goes sideways, and you're like, well, we can't really do what we were doing before because shit. But I don't know, like, it's just, I'm happy with the direction it's going now.
They talk about it, and I'm just like, I really want to know what Vince saw when he went down there. Because that's the thing that, like, rumored, like, allegedly started this whole shift. What did he see that is like, nah, we need to switch it up?
And he saw something that said, I'm going to clean house.
Yeah. I'm like, what happened? I need to know.
I would pay to be the fly on the wall between that conversation.
And here, the thing is, people like shit on it because they're like, oh, Vince and Bruce got their hands on it and they ruined it. And it's like, you just like that it was indie workers that you knew. Like, so it's now more fun for me, somebody who I'm like, yeah, I know these indie workers. I can get my fill of indie work at AEW. They do that better. They do the indies better on AEW. I want characters like the Tony D's. the Andre Chases, the Tiffany Strattons, the Wendy like the characters. And they still have some, solid work going. Like, it's just, but they're smarter about it because they're like, all right, cool. We know we have like greener workers. We need to put some, we need to put some veterans down there. Hey, let's get AJ Styles to work with our big heel.
Let's get Dolph down there.
Yeah. Dolph's, like, that's how it always should have been. Because it was that before they sent down Tyson Kidd, Titus O'Neil. I think they sent Bo Dallas back for a little bit just for like a program. And it's just like, that's what it should be, right? Because these are guys who on WWE television are that middle class kind of, guys. But then in NXT, you can't beat me. I'm facing the likes of Randy Orton, John Cena, Seth Rollins weekly, right? And you're nowhere near them. I can beat you. So then, when the babyface, the Sami Zayns of the world, the Nevilles beat them, it's better because it's like, good, get the comeuppance. It's just easy, classic storybook telling that just has been missing from WWE for, like 5 or 6 years.
Well, I also like that it's exciting now because, like, you see all these times, like, this part, like, Gable got signed. You saw when Young Steiner got signed. And now you'd be like, you get to look out on AEW. I mean, obviously, these guys are going to be green. But, I mean, if you go with your expectations, knowing that, you really get to see these dudes build their character throughout their career, which is exciting for me. That seems awesome. It's cool to see.
it's also, I don't know if you saw this. I saw this clip from NXT from this past week, and I didn't watch it, but it's just because there's so much to watch this last couple weeks. I'm like, I need a break from wrestling. But Tiffany Stratton had one of the picture perfect standing moonsaults of all time.
Ooh.
Mainly because she's an Olympic gymnast. Like, you can't, right? Like, there's levels to it, right? Like a guy, like the Bucks are athletic human beings, right? They are capable of doing incredible things. Maybe not so much now because they're older, but at their physical peaks, yeah. These are people who are 25 years old in their physical peaks that are Olympic level athletes.
Yeah, no, these are elite athletes. Like, it's a different level.
You can teach somebody how to act. You can't teach somebody how to be an Olympic fucking athlete. It just is not the same. And that's
like, if we lose out, I'm okay with it. If it doesn't work, I'm glad we took this shot.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can't teach somebody to be Omos.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
Like, Omos showed in this weekend, he's got personality. He's got the chops to be a star, right? Outside of just being tall. And the problem is, wrestling, the worst kind of wrestling fans what's the appeal other than him being tall? It's like, stand next to him. Tell me he's just tall, because he's not just tall. Like, you think he's just tall because he's standing next to a 6'4" person and he's towering over them. You're 5'10".
He made Bobby Lashley look tiny.
He made Bobby Lashley look like his little brother. That was crazy.
It was insane, right? He's in, like, that. Bobby Lashley's an enormous human being. He is 6'4", 280 pounds of the solid muscle chiseled out of granite. And almost makes him look like a little. He's like, "Hey, bro, like, hey, you don't want to do that." Like,
I thought almost was going to tap him on his head and give him a noogie at one point.
Yeah, I was like, "There's no way Bobby's this small." Like, what's going on?
He let the corner post give Bobby a noogie. Like, again, this is Bobby Lashley, who is inhuman. That man's head hit the plastic covering of a post. Very hard.
Very hard.
And it was not, I'm sure he was concussed out on his feet, but clearly he was within all that he needed to do, which is just wild to me. I bumped my head getting dressed in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I gotta sit down for 25 minutes. Holy shit, I'm gonna die. I don't remember, like, meanwhile, this man just getting casually thrown into a post and clonking his head. It's ridiculous.
Perfect example for almost, and you were talking about you can't teach, like, being that large. Like, just saying he's tall is ridiculous. I was watching Mania with my buddy who hasn't watched wrestling in, like, forever. He, like, grew up Attitude Era, but, like, hasn't kept up with it. And he just came by to hang out and watch it, whatever. That match comes on. He's like, "Oh, I know Bobby Lashley." Like, he got excited for the people that he recognized, obviously.
Yep.
He's like, he's a beast. He's a monster. And I'm like, I know who he's about to come out and see him and hit. He does not. He almost walks out and he was flabbergasted. Shocked. Yeah. He literally just goes, "Who the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Almost." And he's like, "Can he actually, like, move?" I'm like, "Wait." He couldn't believe it.
He can kind of move out there.
Yeah,
his Mania match was impressive. It's definitely the most work he's put in a match by far. And I would say, I mean, obviously, he's still 7.
There's a limit, right?
400 pounds. Like,
yep.
Yeah, you can't expect him to be Shawn Michaels out there selling and shit like that. But he did his thing for a massive human being.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And the thing is people like us, sensible human beings, go, "Wow, that guy can move." And somebody, a dumb wrestling fan who sees him, but then they're like, "Well, Keith Lee's like 300 pounds and he could do a tope suicida." And it's like, okay, here's the thing though. He's still a whole foot taller than this man and a whole 100 pounds. The scale, there are, like, it's like, all right, Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, even, they are unique human beings who are athletic, more athletic than their bodies allow them to be. We play NBA 2K. When you make your player taller than they should be for their position, you get capped on how good they can be because they're a 6'9" point guard, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm a 6'9", I'm gonna block everything. It's like, yeah, but you're not gonna be as fast as a 6'1" or the 6'2" guy. It's just like freak athletes are freak athletes, but like people just don't. I mean, this goes back to the Tyler I am, like, you know, do you think you could beat Harrison Barnes in a 1-on-1? Like, you know, or you think you could score a basket? You can't. Like, again, stand next to Omos and you could be like, damn, he is huge. And like to not understand what the appeal in that is goes to like you're just kind of too deep into wrestling to be like, I don't see the appeal in somebody who is a enormous person that's just a monster of a person. Meanwhile, you know, your buddy, my brother, they just see Omos and they're like, his head, his eyeballs are at the top of the top rope, and he's on the ground. like my brother sent me that. It's ridiculous.
Yes, the reaction you should have as a normal human being.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like,
I'm also now picturing almost doing a tope and just causing a small earthquake.
Bro,
I mean, Braun Breaker did one. He did one, and it was surprising.
I don't know what Brutus Creed was thinking when he did that cannonball. I have no clue.
They all saw Grayson Allen do the elbow off the fucking ladder and shatter his elbow.
His arm. Yeah,
and they're like, we gotta. Yeah, Grayson can't be the only idiot. Like,
as soon as he curled up, I'm like, oh, he's gonna die.
Who, Brutus? No, I thought everybody else was gonna die. No, I saw
someone's gonna die. I'm like, something's about to happen.
I saw this man curl into a ball 10 feet above everybody else, and he's like 6'4", 6'5", 260 pounds. Somebody was gonna die. He was gonna be fine.
I said a prayer. I'm like, oh my God.
He's lucky they didn't move the way when like Shaq dove to was a bench. Thud.
The thud of it all. Hey, nobody, you guys were supposed to stop me. No.
Did you see this? You made yourself into a giant ball of weapon? Absolutely not, sir.
It's just that entire it's like Cam said on Twitter this week. And got the fucking wrestling Twitter in a fucking tizzy. He's just like, look, NXT's got the tag. If you want, like, AEW's got the tag teams, but if you want tag teams that just beat people the fuck up, NXT is for you. And I'm like, yes, because the Creed brothers are there. They whoop ass. They the fucking grizzled young vets just taught. They put their shit in.
Love a good grizzled young vets.
I just like, it's just so good. I just watched Bloodsport today from last weekend, and I forgot how much I just love people beating the fuck out of each other. That whole event is just 2.5 hours of people just grappling and beating the fuck out of each other. And Chris Dickinson is just a very beefy man who's that dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was screaming about, you see those letters GCW in your corner, you know this is my fucking shit. And I'm like, yo, and he's like sweaty. He is sweating like a hog, and he is just he is shiny as fuck, and he is just yelling. And I'm like, wow, that's okay, all right.
GCW's got a large profile, kind of, for independent wrestling.
Yeah, for good reasons. They know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They get the people going.
Grumm was at home smiling ear to ear. Look at this large man yelling in my face.
I'm sitting there like, I gotta watch and then immediately I turned on Supercard of Honor, and the first match I ended up watching was Brian Cage murdering Ninja Mac, and I'm like, as it should be. Big men murdering flippy boys. Yeah, so how that relates, now we got that out of the way, because I wanted to talk about that because we didn't get to talk about WrestleMania too much. But today we're going to be talking about a fun thing. Now, before I get there, you guys are both from the New England area, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It is true, correct?
Correct. So now, now a little history. That New England was called New England because when the settlers, first touched down, they were from England. And then this would be the New England. Did you guys know that? They were escaping the king and the king's tyranny. All right. They were just like, we want to be good religious people, and we can't do that in England where they're full of sully and sin.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Correct.
Look, that's what my American education tells me, or at least what I retained of what they told me.
To answer your question,
yeah.
I mean, I always knew it, but I guess like I never learned it. I'm like, it just made too much sense. Because when you're a kid, you're like, you always ask like, you mean to tell me there's an old York,
right?
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So it's like,
well, this all seems a little too easy, a little too suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, what threw me off, right? So growing up, there's a York, Pennsylvania, which is obviously named after York, England, or whatever, Yorkshire, or whatever. So I knew about York, Pennsylvania before I knew about New York, New York, or New York, the state, right? So when my first thought was, oh, they named their state after York, Pennsylvania. So I'm an idiot. Needless to say, like even this is what like this is because like it was one of those like you start learning about the world history in like first or second grade, and I was like, I had thought about this for years, right? I had been like so I raised my hand, right, and the teacher calls on me and she goes, yes, TJ, and I said, is New York named after York, Pennsylvania? And she goes, no. New York is named after a city in York, England. To which I then said, well, is that place named after York, Pennsylvania? Like it was one of those moments where, as an adult, I can understand what was going through her mind, which is you dumb kid.
Yeah, these kids, bro.
I want to call this kid a dumbass so bad. But I'm a good person.
I'm gonna roast this kid so old. I'm gonna tell all my friends about this dumb kid in class. I cannot wait.
It is very funny though, because that is such like kid logic. It's like, wait, the one close to me isn't the like hub of all of Yorks, is what you're telling me?
This isn't the original.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. Like growing up in Springfield, Massachusetts, and you see The Simpsons, and you're like, "That's us," and they're like, "No." But then Springfield, England, Illinois is there. And Springfield, what is it? One out west.
You mean to tell me Springfield happens to be the most popular name of any place in any city?
You know what I just saw today? Somebody on Twitter mapped out all the cities in the U.S. that are named Cleveland. There's a
lot.
There's at least 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of Clevelands out here.
Why? It's such a bad. Why are we naming land after Cleves? Like, what did Cleve do to deserve this much land? All right, I'm just
shocked. The Ohio one is the one that popped off, but
yeah, right. It's like you got one in Illinois right by the lake. What that should be the better one. It's got a good lake next to it, not Lake Erie.
It's too close to Chicago. Need something southern,
I mean, there were a couple that were southern. I was just like, Jesus, there's a lot of Clevelands, and they're all like on this side of like they're no.
You're telling me you wouldn't go to Cleveland, Tennessee? You know what I mean? Like you
maybe Cleveland, North Carolina.
Tennessee sounds 10 times better than Cleveland, Ohio. I know that for a fact. I will say one thing: if someone tells me they're from Cleveland and starts talking to me in like a down south accent, that is gonna throw me through a loop. Though.
You haven't been down to Cleveland?
And listen,
excuse me.
Listen, not to shit on Ohio, but hey, New England supremacy, we out here.
Like I said, not to shit on Ohio.
Not even.
Yeah,
I'm in South Florida now. Fuck all that, bro. I switched so easily. I'm in South Florida now, man. I can't do it no more, Diggy. I can't do it.
JTR touches foot in New England twice a year, holidays, and that's it. That's when you see that man up around the table.
Yeah, but the thing, he's got to keep the profile up, right? So nobody thinks, like they're still cheering. JTR's people are still cheering because he said Northern supremacy. Like he's like, yeah, they're like, yeah,
I win. Win.
Meanwhile, he's going.
Got his Rhode Island driver license 100%. Never switched it when he was in Florida.
I got it. I mean, I don't keep it in my wallet anymore, but I still got it.
Yeah, you gotta keep it when you go back in case anyone tries to call your pass in Rhode Island on you. I feel you.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first went out down here and I showed my Rhode Island license, they thought it was fake. I'm like, it's the real thing. Like, look at the age. Like, I'm not even like, what am I trying to fake here?
Yeah. That's always good, right? Is it like where you get the fake? Like, I remember my friend got a fake ID, and he got his from Illinois, like it was an Illinois state license. And then we're in Pennsylvania, and like he's like, I could have got it cheaper if I had gone to if I had made it from like Wyoming or Idaho, but I feel like they would definitely know it's a fake. And I'm like, dude, you're going to a place that doesn't even ID ever. You don't even need a fake ID. You never know. So naturally,
your mustache is going in pretty good. You'll probably be able to get in, no problem.
Well, we'd always go to this just a beer store. And the guy was whatever. He was right on it's right off of campus, right at Temple. So like, guy's not checking ID. I guess. So we were going through the first semester. We're doing this, and one day he starts checking ID, and someone's like, "Oh, why are you checking ID?" And he's like, turns out you can't sell it to people who are under 21. I thought you could." I was like, I was like,
whoa. Excuse me. I was like, it's not still 18? That's crazy.
Wait, Grumm, was this an older
this was
person?
An older man.
Yeah, I mean,
he got our thought process was like, oh, the sarcastic, oh, guess you can't do it. No, he legitimately was surprised. He legitimately believed, and he was shocked. Right, so
I hope he's doing all right. You know what I mean?
He was still in business last I checked, so he may have just said, fuck it, and just kept. It's profitable to sell to these people who are 18, 19 years old. Fuck what the law says. I'm going to.
The nastiest times of my life. Just
walking out with 40.
If I stop selling to these 15-year-old kids, I'm going to lose like at least 70% of my business. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. My hands are tied.
All I know about a fake ID is that it's a bulk purchase. Everyone's always like, listen, we get a discount if I get us. We already got 3 people. Are you in? I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
The thing
just
about
up in a picture frame.
Right, yeah. The thing about the fake ID is no one tells you that you don't have to use it, right? Like they just go like, oh, you got to get it, so it's like you could get it but not use it. Like those are two there is a third option. Like you could help your friends out and get a better deal and have a fake ID just to have a fake ID, and then you can tell bullshit stories in the future. Or you'd be like, yeah, this is a fake ID. One time, this one got me in this nightclub, and I shouldn't have been in there. Yeah.
Mind you.
He was in that in the nightclub with a fake ID with $17 in his pocket.
Whom among us? You let those who have not done that be the ones to cast stones. We've all been there. Yeah. We've all been too broke to be where we're at.
Your outfit looks fly though.
Yeah. I look like I belong there.
That's all that mattered.
I looked like I belong there. I looked like money. I sure as shit didn't have it. But I was
drinking 1 vodka soda for the 3 waters, not because of drinking reasons, for finance reasons. Yes,
I definitely told the bartender that I was a DD and just give me water. Like that's the trick, right? You tell them that you're the designated driver, and they'll just give you water. They won't even, and then you just throw them a little. You throw them a little bit of money, and they'll be like, "All right, hey, like, you want a soda?" And you're like, "Yes, I got a fucking free soda." It's like, yes.
Oh yeah.
Always tip your waiters and waitresses and
Absolutely.
bartenders. Always.
I take good care of them because they better be taking good care of me. If I look like I'm, if you tip them bad, they won't stop you. They'll let you keep going and just get obliterated. Then like, but you tip them, they'll be like, hey.
I've been out with people that don't tip. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
yo,
you gotta cover for. Then you're like,
I gotta cover
on top of it. Yeah, because you don't want the whole group to look bad. Not the whole group. You don't care about the group looking bad, but you don't want to look bad.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I'm definitely not about this. So
I picked up a whole tab for about 8 people at a TwitchCon. We went to lunch one day, and we went to this place, and there's like 8 of us in this like 6-person booth. Like we're just all crammed. And, we're ordering all this food, and they want to split it 8 ways. And I'm like, no, you can't.
Not in the Venmo era.
I said, this is like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. So
I hate that too. Like, why are we splitting checks?
I'm like, this makes this harder for them. Like, I'm like, hey, look, just give me the check. I'll cover it. So they're like, oh, like, rather, I'm like, dude, just fucking just PayPal me. You PayPal me to tip me when I'm streaming. Just do the same thing. Like, just give me the money. Well, what are you giving for a tip? And I'm like, I'm giving 25%. And they're like, I was going to give 15%. And I'm like, then don't give me just give me here's what you owe me. Like 15%. Oh yeah, I only give 20 if it's good. I'm like, you don't get out enough. Like, good lord.
Yeah, bro. It's
Like, if you
You
think
were gonna
15
wait
is,
for this TwitchCon, huh?
No.
nasty business.
they were like, oh,
As someone who's worked in the industry for a minute, I have definitely gone to a table who's given me multiple cards to split, walked to the computer, looked like I was pretending to be distracted, and walked back being, this system's down, guys. I can't do nothing about it. I don't know what to tell y'all, but
bro, that's some of the benefits of customer service, man. Just
you just lie to them.
Yeah, we can't do it.
correct.
Oh,
Running customer service teach me how to be a good liar.
Yeah, like, hey, do you have any of these in the back? You know what? I'll go look for you. Let me. I'm gonna drop everything. I'll go look for you.
Take 3 steps in the
Somebody-
back, scroll Twitter for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
walk
we
right
ain't
back
got
out.
it.
I would waste their fucking time, man. I would use it as a fucking break. I'd be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go. So I would literally go to where it might be. That's where I start scrolling, right? Because then if somebody comes looking for me, they're like, oh, hey, I was looking for. Somebody stopped me and asked me, are you looking for... I'm like, yeah, I'm still looking. I could have sworn we had one in the back here. You know what? I'll come out with you, right? And that's 10, 15 minutes later. They're like, oh, wow. I'm like, look, I was really looking back there. You know...
What are they gonna do? They can't say you weren't. You were gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then when my boss like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm looking for this product for somebody. And he just goes, all right, okay. Because he can't do anything. Because if he thinks I'm lying, and he sends me back out there, I go, damn, like, my boss didn't want me back there, you know. And then they go and yell at the boss, and he gets in trouble because now customers pissed at him because they can't get a product because they told me I can't. I come out looking clean no matter what, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I bring up England and New England, I was like, damn, I can't make a transition there worth shit. So we're just gonna
Tangent number 3.
Tangent, it's just all of them. Who you get one? You get one wrestler from England, or from the United Kingdom, right? And I think we're all gonna have the same one, ideally. But who's the best the best British United Kingdom wrestler to you? Like the GOAT of all time.
Gotta be William Regal to me.
That's a good call. Good call, JTR.
I'm trying to think who's from the UK. I'm just completely blanking for some reason. Like,
it's tough. I said so. I said that, and I started thinking a little bit about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was a crop of guys that came up, like in between Regal and this current crop of like Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, like that crop. And one of them is my best friend Drew McIntyre.
I didn't even think about Drew.
He's the first Scottish born, and I mean it's not, but I think it is. But he did wrestle in the United Kingdom a lot, so I'm gonna take that as a win. I know he's not from it, but he's a synonymous with the British wrestling. Especially when he came back to the British independence in ICW was big on there. So I'm gonna say Drew with a second nod to Lord Steven Regal.
I mean, yeah, it's probably Regal, but
yeah,
I'm just at a loss.
Like I was thinking
I'm not gonna lie. I answered so quickly because I only had Regal in mind. I thought JTR might say the same thing. I'm like, on him.
Well, that's why I said we were all gonna have the same one, right?
I'm like, who else but Regal? I'm like,
it's Regal. You could say Sheamus, Fit Finlay,
British Bulldog. Is he technically?
Yeah, British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid.
I'm not gonna lie, I always thought British Bulldog was from like New Jersey or something.
No, Davey Boy Smith was from Britain. They were literally the British Bulldogs. Him and Dynamite Kid. You got those two. You got Dave Taylor, Gentleman Chris Adams, and then like the next wave was like, you know, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Wade Barrett. Those guys were the same time in the early 2000s, late 2000s. I know Sheamus and Balor wrestled or were training at Irish Whip wrestling at the same time, as well as Becky. I mean, Becky might count.
I was gonna say Becky. True. I'd put Becky up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you got the boom of NXT UK type guy, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne,
Butch.
Trent Seven, Butch, which it's not that bad of a name, all right? It's a
They just
guttural.
got him unhinged out there, man.
Yeah,
Like, he's out of control.
You tell me a guy
Not
named
gonna lie,
Pete.
it works for the character that he
Correct.
has right now.
No guy named Pete's going unhinged like that, trying to fight people. That's a Butch. Butch, calm
Pete's
down.
running around hitting people. Let me go teach Pete a lesson.
Yeah, let me. No one's scared of Pete. I don't care.
Davidson? No.
JTR gonna put Pete in timeout.
Pete.
Put a little ass down.
No. I'm gonna put Pete in the. I'll put Pete in the Pete. That's a soil joke for everybody. All right, I got you. Hitting all the things. The reason why you brought up Regal, the reason why our topic does today feature one William Regal. We're from 2001 when he was the commissioner.
Boy.
Yes. All right, so Diggy, you might remember this. JTR,
This might be right.
I know a little bit about Commissioner Regal.
Yeah.
Well,
one of his more infamous feuds as a commissioner involved Chris Jericho, who at the time was this snarky, smart mouth kind of character. It was right before he turns into this arrogant piece of shit in 2002. But in 2001, people love him. He's one of the top. He's on his way to being like one of the top guys in the company, and he decides to stick it to William Regal, and he does so by pissing in his tea. And that sets off. It sets off a chain of events that leads us to our topic today. Today we're going to watch from Backlash 2001, William Regal and Chris Jericho in a Duchess of Queensberry match. What that entails, well, we're going to watch it. We'll be back here on the Dork side of the ring.
A quick break in the discussion here. Thank you guys for checking out Continuing to Support the Dork Side of the Ring. You can continue to support us for free by listening just like you are right now, or going to Dorkside Ring on Instagram and Twitter. That's DORKSIDERING. And follow us, retweet, and share all the posts that we do. That'll help us greatly grow our footprint. Also, you can continue to support us financially if you already do, or join those on the Patreon and become a member of the Llama Club of the greater Grumm Unity. Grumm Unity. That's right, Grumm Community. You can go to support.grumm.tv where you can get your episode early. You can get exclusive content, producer credit on content. It is good times. Also, speaking permissions during my live streams. Also, a little bit of I want to start advertising this out. May 12th at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/boomdabah. That's BOOMDABAH. Boomdabah, who is a guest previously and will be very shortly. We're going to be doing some fun stuff and trying to raise money for St. Jude's. We've talked about this with Metric Seconds and MD, as well as I'm sure we're going to talk about it with others over the course of the next week or two. But yes, we've got the good folks, good content creators raising money for St. Jude's. St. Jude Hospital, Children's Hospital, helps children and their families deal with the fight that is against cancer. Every dollar raised goes straight to St. Jude's and help families with children who are suffering get treatment and given amenities. They don't have to cost them a penny. So go check that out. We'll be doing that May 12th, 8 p.m. on Boomdabah's Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/Boomdabah. Now, back to the show.
We're back on the Dork side. First impressions, gentlemen, from the Duchess of Queensberry rules match between William Regal and Chris Jericho. We'll start with you, Diggy.
I mean, a clean and decisive win for my man Regal. Nothing shady afoot that I saw, at least. Everything clean and by the book. Everyone knows the Duchess rules. No submissions, obviously. No DQ. Chair shots, very legal. And just an overall dominant victory for my guy, William Regal.
The GOAT. The
Go.
well, hold on. The Goat, the greatest Englishman of all time. That'd be the Goat.
Mm.
The goat, the British goat.
The boat. the Britishest of all time.
Boat.
Britishest of all time.
There you
correct.
go. That's it. William Regal, OBE.
Yeah, what about you? What about you, JTR? First impressions, takeaways from the Duchess of Queensberry's match.
Hey, listen. The rules were the rules. What you want me to tell you? You play the game the right way. That's what you do.
I mean, really, just unprofessional on Chris Jericho's part if you really want to get into it, not preparing for a multiple round fight.
You tell me you don't know the rules to your own match? Like, what are you doing, Chris?
Yeah, well, look, like that was the thing. No one knew. They had a coach was trying to interview the Duchess before the match and got shooed away by Regal.
Excuse me, one person knew, and that was Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Paul Heyman knew.
Well, I mean,
explain that. Paul
Paul Heyman was in the announcer meeting, obviously.
Yeah, you know, beside him and the Duchess, they go way back. 96.
Everyone knows that Paul Heyman put the Duchess on. She's one of his clients, correct?
Yeah, she wasn't the Duchess of Queensberry until she got to know Heyman. Heyman was like, "Hey, we'll get you there. We'll get you where you want to go."
Also, that shows that Jonathan Coachman isn't a true journalist. A real Big J journo is gonna get the scoop.
Yeah. Also, coach with hair, holding on for some dear life there in some spots, man. It was getting patchy.
Hey, man, that's you saw that Braun Strowman picture?
Yo, what is going? I'm worried about that man mentally, right? Because like sidebar from what the dork side stuff. So you remember when they did the WrestleMania day of thing for WrestleMania 36, and he was talking about how he's like, yeah, no, Vince wanted I was thinking about really ending it, and then Vince, I owe my life now to Vince because he really talked me. I thought I was doing all these things, and I thought about ending it, and Vince McMahon talked me out of it, and it's like, damn, man, that sucks. And then I see all this stuff, and I'm like, that man is unwell. He is mentally unwell. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with him, but just like no one who has that kind of haircut, who has a double mohawk from the back of your neck to the top of your head and not to the front of your head, no one mentally well has that kind of haircut. It's just,
you got to be in a dark place to rock the double mohawk.
It was truly a double take moment when I saw that. I'm like, that can't be.
And then you're like, I don't know many other people who are 6'10", 413 pounds and look like that. Like, yeah, no, that's Braun Strowman. It's like, there's only so many people who fit that physical profile. And he was losing hair before, then he went bald. And at some point he decided that having whatever the fuck is going on right now is better than being bald. And whoever didn't stop him, you're a bad friend.
Yeah, hey, listen, I can't relate respectfully, but more power to you if you can do it. I just can't do it.
It's just like I don't understand where the mindset that you have to do that. Like, I understand, like, wrestlers have always and will always have bad hair. It's part of it comes with
bad
the territory,
fashion sense,
right? Like some make it work, right? Like Minoru Suzuki's got his hair's got the designs in it and everything. It looks very weird, but it works for him because he's also just a murder grandpa. Braun Strowman had, like Road Warrior Hawk had the double mohawk, but his went from the back of his neck to the front of his head. But Braun doesn't have enough hair, I guess, and rather than just stay bald, he's like, I'm gonna do something with the hair I got left. It was just like,
and it's not like the bald head beard combo looked bad, especially when you're that much of a monster. Like, just ride it out. I don't understand.
He got a lot of free time on his hands, Let him.
Hey man,
that sounded much more disrespectful than I meant to say.
Like you're not.
I swear to you, I did not mean it like that.
You're not controlling your narrative like he is. All right. Yeah. The problem is
that's where the disrespect comes from, honestly. But
I still can't get. It is very funny to me that Rockstar Spud was like, Oh, that's what you guys are doing? Nah, I'm going back. I'm gonna go work for WWE as a writer. I'll go do that. Fuck being a part of controlling a narrative, which it's just so funny. The rules are that you control your narrative, that no one can tell you what to do, except you can't do super kicks or tope con hilo. It's like
And there's no disqualifications, and you can't win by submission, and that there's multiple rounds.
Correct.
Is control your narrative just the evolution of the Duchess of Queensberry match? Some are saying. Some are saying.
I don't know why we don't see more Duchess of Queensberry matches. I would like to see more multiple round wrestling matches that one of the wrestlers doesn't know about. That was fantastic.
NXT, if you're gonna see it, it's gonna be NXT.
Well, NXT's got the NXT UK has the Heritage Cup matches, which are like classic British wrestling matches where they were like 3 5-minute rounds, and either you have to beat the champion to win, or I think it's not like a scoring thing. Like somebody goes in with the advantage and you have to beat them, otherwise they win. It's like a weird. I like it because it's unique to.
Yeah, it's different.
But I mean, I can't do a whole show of it. I say that. Then again, if you would have told me I could watch a whole show of professional wrestlers pretending to wrestle and do MMA submission. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been in on that, but I just watched Bloodsport, so it's a little bit different.
He just saw Wee Man body slam Sami Zayn. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Yes, shades of Andre the Giant at WrestleMania.
Better than look, Wee Man greater than Hulk Hogan. I've never seen Wee Man disparage a race of humans after fucking his best friend's or fucking his friend's wife. So
Wee Man still got some hair on his head.
Wee Man got some muscles. He got a gut, but he got some muscles. Wee
Man only disparages his own body, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Man, look, that Jackass match was so much fun, man. Like that's what wrestling is. Like, you
couldn't have had a better person to be in it than Sammy too.
Oh, Sammy's goated. He's goated.
Sammy kicking his legs caught in the mousetrap had me laughing for 6 minutes.
Yo, the fact that the match is over and him and the ref are struggling to get it off of him, and he's like, "Get it off!" and they leave, and he's still stuck in it. I want the footage of them coming to get him out of it. I want a cartoon like Carjack to go in between and then to push it up. Or even better, I want to see Sami Zayn walk out with it still on. Like he walks off.
Imagine you just came on to the first episode of Raw after and you just still in the mousetrap. That would have been incredible.
I don't know. Did you see his comment? I think it was Ariel and Hawani he was talking to, I think. And he was like, people want the old Sammy. Yeah, go watch it on tapes. Go watch him. Go watch him on tape. He's like, I'm done doing that. He's like, either you keep going with me on this journey or you don't. That's fine. I don't necessarily
He's
care.
leveled up so much. He's leveled up so much since then too.
Like it is incredible. He got paid first off. Like that's important. Number one thing is to get paid for what he does. And then 2, he has got paid to be in the third most talked about match coming out of Mania. Maybe even second.
About that, yeah,
Like you had
top 5 for certain.
Oh yeah, but you had Austin Owens is coming out number 1 no matter what. You've got probably got the Logan Paul match number 2 because of just the sheer amount of like internet influence.
I wouldn't even put that up there, honestly.
I'm just saying, like Logan Paul moves the needle because of his internet influence. Whereas, like the third then becomes Jackass or Pat McAfee stuff. Like, and like, it's just wild that
the biggest pop in the building besides Stone Cold.
Hell yeah, I was gonna say Pat had the crowd.
Pat had that crowd, and like I'm in a Discord where they're mainly AEW strong. I won't say they're pro, but they're strong. Like that's they like independent wrestling, but they don't disparage the bad or the good stuff in WWE. If it's good, it's good. And I'm like, yeah, man. I said like Ricochet because I had just been talking about how Ricochet didn't deserve to be on. Ain't nobody wanting to see Ricochet on a Mania match.
Nah.
And
Especially not this Mania.
No, and then I was like, Ricochet wishes he could get this reaction that Pat McAfee got. That was when Pat walked out. Then I saw the crowd, and I'm like, damn, most of the roster, outside of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and like Becky, Bianca, and Charlotte, wishes
The top
they could
of the top.
Like, everybody wants to be where he's like. I know Austin Theory was going, damn, I want the crowd to react to me like that. Like, I want that I want that level of like just attention. And they were hot. That man. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that he came out to Seven Nation Army. So, like, when you come out to that, it's pretty good.
Crowd rocking.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vince for fitting the bill for that one, because I know that was a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Bro, this must have been the most expensive WrestleMania ever, without a doubt in my mind.
Here's the thing. Like, it definitely had to be, but I mean, when you're not paying, like. This is the business part of it. Like, they did let go of like 60% of their roster in the last 2 years, so it's like,
yeah, you got the money for Stone Cold.
Like, you got the money for Stone Cold, you got the money for like, and I don't think Logan Paul or Johnny Knoxville are necessarily like costing him a pretty penny, and Pat McAfee is certainly not costing you a pretty penny. He already works for you.
He's he's on the payroll already.
But like,
McAfee's literally doing this shit for fun. That man comes on a $130 million deal like a few months ago.
He doesn't need to do this.
Hobby and activities.
Well, that's and I saw the discourse about it on the internet, mainly on Reddit. They were talking about how like WWE is finally getting like figured out how to deal with celebrities, and it's not so much they figured out they just aren't trying to get celebrities that like they don't want the celebrities that are cool with coming to WWE. They want the celebrities that want to be there, right? Like in WrestleMania 23, they had Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, which is just wild to say, but he wanted to be he wanted to be a part of that for his own little things, but he wanted to be a part of that, and he wanted to be the good guy. He wanted people to root for him. And it made for probably like the match of the one of the top 2 matches of like just in terms of presentation, because Vince McMahon got his head shaved bald, and Donald Trump threw the worst looking punches of all time, mainly because they were real punches, and he can't throw a punch.
Yeah, ate a stunner terribly too.
Horrible. Somehow.
Someone who didn't know how to use his arms threw a punch.
Well, apparently the story was, so they get there like the day of, and they're trying to tell Donald Trump what to do, and like it's Michael Hayes telling him. So like Michael Hayes is Michael Hayes is doing like using wrestler speak, like, yeah, you're like ska, and then you'll be like bah, bah, bah. And like apparently Donald Trump turns to somebody and goes, what is he? Is he okay? Like, he says it in a not so in a way that you could imagine him saying it.
This guy's having a stroke.
And like Michael PSA is the most atrocious to the human eye.
Gotta get you over, brother. Like,
do. He's just like, he's like, Miss Trump, you just gotta punch. Yeah, you just gotta do that, and you do right over the hand up, you win. It's like,
in one of the most awful suits.
So Vince McMahon tells me, he's like, when we get out there, Donald, throw some punches, throw them for real. And then he's like, well, Vince, it's not supposed to be real, right? He goes, no, because if you don't do it real, it's gonna look like shit. I'd rather it not look like shit.
Listen, I ain't scared of none of your pussy punches. Punch me for real.
Yeah,
It's like, I've got potato by Stone Cold. I could take one of your pussy punches.
Vince had a match at what, 80 years old? Just a week ago?
Yeah, 76 years old.
Yeah,
hey, that man won a match.
In better shape than
won a match at 86 years old.
The Looper joke got me, man. them going like there's Looper 2012, and it's Pat McAfee in a tank and shorts, and Vince in a tank, and I'm like, this is hilarious. But then
when Vince had the card in the palm of his hand when he was teasing taking off his jacket.
Oh yeah,
put it back on. Oh, that was great. That man.
Not even that. When Theory's music played and he turned like, oh, I thought that was Stone Cold.
Yeah, right. And people are like, oh, he fucked up his own spot. It's like, the man has PTSD. He knows Stone Cold's in the area, right?
Yeah, he's like,
Like, he knows his muscles are trained to when he's having a good time in the ring at the expense of somebody else, and he's being a bully. He gets
Stone Cold.
So when he hears that, and he's like, "What the fuck?" All right, it wasn't okay. Like, you know,
Yeah, that man was scared for 8 years to hear glass. Someone dropped a glass in a restaurant. Vince was startled.
He starts tucking. Get him away! Get away! Starts looking like Brutus.
Pearls, yes.
He starts looking like Brutus Creed through the air, but he's just in his seat, just.
Oh man.
But yeah, and then shout out the WWE production crew for cutting that up and making it look like a good stunner. That was.
Oh man, when they showed that on Raw, they showed the replay. Oh, yeah, shout out to the production crew for that because they made that look like it was
fake news fake news is winning always.
Oh, yeah, but it's in this way. It made it look good, and we're like, all right, cool. We like this fake news. Yeah, give me that. We didn't even talk.
Cold actively laughing about the stunner.
It was
the attempt.
I loved it. I didn't even care. It was bad. I'm like,
I don't care. I got to see Stone Cold stunner Vince McMahon at WrestleMania, which he hasn't done since for 15 years. Like the last time he did it was 23.
And you gotta appreciate it because honestly, like we may never see it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like.
And Jim Jam said the other day that's his first time seeing a Stone Cold match live ever in his lifetime.
It's a lot of people's. Yeah, like it's a lot of people's first.
It was mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, like Stone Cold has been retired for 20 years.
They said it was his first match in HD. That was crazy.
It was his first match in everything, man. Like first match that won't be on DVD. Like, you know,
wow.
Like that like it's his first match. Like it's just there's a lot. It's his first match since like let's see, 2003 was what, Bush. So in three presidents. Like he's had 3 presidential, including one full term president since he actually 4 if you want to basically because you still had you had 4 elections. 5 elections in the time of his last match. That's just insane.
Crazy.
That man looked like he was in great shape still.
Oh yeah.
Well, people were like pissing on it because they're like, "Oh, this should have just been a match." It's like 1, shut up, enjoy it, and 2, like they're like, "Oh,
was this not a match?"
Well, no, they were mad of the pretense of it being like an interview. Like it would have been better if they just sold it as a match. And it's like, well, here's the thing. If he woke up that morning and goes, "Yo, I can't do it. My back and my neck are too fucked. I can't do anything. I can stun him," then you underdeliver on what the match could be. No one was expecting a match. Why? Because they didn't advertise a match. Like it's simple as that. There were people who wanted it to be a match, but
wrestling fans, they want to be babied the whole way. They want the handheld throughout the whole way sometimes, and it's just.
I do appreciate that they the spoilers and like you seeing all the other shit coming up and like you can kind of find out what like do you not miss when everything was like that wasn't really the option, everything was a surprise, like and having those moments that's like some of the best part of being a wrestling fan. Like I don't understand the hate on
nothing's
that.
A secret anymore. Like
dude, nothing ruined wrestling for me more than falling into the dirt sheet news hole, right? Like when you get into that, and like most wrestling fans have had that where they're like, "Oh, I want to consume all the wrestling content, so I'm gonna. This is where I get the stuff on the backstage stuff. That's great." Same way like we do with like the NBA, the NFL, sports in general, getting to know the behind the scenes stuff on top of the product that you see on TV. Yeah, that's great and all, but man, nothing like you lose sight of what enjoyed like the whole idea of like okay, so it was supposed to be Becky going over, but they decided last minute to not, to have Bianca go over is just ruins it because you're just like, man, that real fun match that I watched. Now that I know it wasn't supposed to be like that and it changed your mind, blah 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 blah. What does it matter, man? You enjoyed it in the time. Enjoy it.
I was gonna say you enjoy the product that was there at the moment. Why is something that you find out after ruining for you? Like I really just never understand that mindset.
You don't have to watch either. Like no one's forcing you.
You know what?
Facts.
You know what ruins wrestling for me? Finding out that my favorite wrestlers are terrible human beings. That can ruin your wrestling, right?
That'll do it.
But finding out that I don't know, the guy who is in charge of the product doesn't want to push a guy, that's not going to ruin literally everything else about a show. Like, yeah, would I have liked to see the New Day get more time? Yeah, because that meant I would have also got to see Sheamus for more time. But that doesn't ruin watching Roman and Brock have like this big fight feel and deliver on it, and then also had Stone Cold stun Vince McMahon. Like, those things are not, like, I can enjoy those things and be disappointed that, you know, the New Day only got 5 minutes.
It's not mutually exclusive at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what it comes down to for me. I'd say, as someone who's new back into it, like, and so I don't, like, I think a lot of this is for me watching the first time that you guys have been watching for like 5 or 6 years. That's why it's been so exciting for me recently. So it's like, it's good. Like, I don't really dive into like the dirt sheets and shit like that. So almost everything is a super surprise for me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm really just watching the product. I think that's the best way to consume it, to be honest.
Like, wrestlers in general, and for the most part, like WWE, are smart enough to where they feed false information or put things, because everybody's like, oh man, Cody Rhodes isn't Cody might not be at WrestleMania. Oh, Shane's coming back. It might be Shane, like Vince, you know, blah 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 blah, you know, as a make good for making him the scapegoat, which, I mean, that was pretty evident, but also not surprising. But like, Cody comes out and people lose their fucking mind. Why? Because in the back of your head, you're like, it might happen, it might not happen. But if the dirt sheets were like, yeah, no, Cody Rhodes is going to make his debut at WrestleMania, and you were like that the whole time, you'd be like, all right, here he comes. Yes, he came. Versus, who's it going to be? Oh my God, it's Cody Rhodes.
It's like almost like a reassurance instead of like the anticipation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
that's the perfect way to put it.
Okay, it happened.
It didn't change the reaction either. You know, like the pop was still crazy.
Yeah, like as it should have been. It's just like if everybody in that building was anticipating Cody Rhodes coming out, but they were anticipating somebody coming out, because they all were like, maybe. It's being said that he's not. Meanwhile, it's just like, yeah, no, that guy had a handshake. As soon as that man left, like, it comes out, like, Sean Ross Sapp's like, yeah, no, he was good as gone in January. Like, he basically was like, I don't want to be, like, the story about him not wanting to be in management wasn't at all like that wasn't a fluff piece to make him look good. Like, that was legit. He didn't want to be in management, and they didn't want to compensate him as a talent for it.
I mean, this is me speculation, but I think he probably just saw his ceiling too, of what it could really be at AEW compared to if he becomes that guy at WWE instead of being that guy at AEW. It's a different level. It just is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
was that JTR?
No, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. I mean, he said that. He's like, you want to be? Yeah. I think I'm the best, but to be the best, I have to do it on the biggest stage, and that's WWE. And people are in their feelings. There are people who are still crying about him not being in AEW, that they felt betrayed by him. Man, grow up, grow up. Like, it's a business.
And also, like, he also just brought you an alternative product that wouldn't have been there otherwise.
Yeah,
so it's like, that's still there. Like, that's not.
He was like the biggest star for a while.
He's the driving force. Like, people are like, oh, like, he wasn't that big of a deal. You go back and watch that first Dynamite, and he is the most over guy. Nobody touches Cody Rhodes. He is a cult hero. There is no, until from the moment that Dynamite started until the time the crowds came back, the crowds were gone because of the pandemic. He's that dude. He's the number one guy. Not Moxley, not Kenny Omega, him. He's the number one guy because he gets the people going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, prime example. When I first got back into wrestling the last year, it was partly because I heard of like the great stuff Roman Reigns was doing, so I dove into SmackDown, and then I saw the stuff about AEW. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll check this out. And I know Cody Rhodes' name. I didn't know who the fuck Kenny Omega was until AEW was introduced to me, because I was a casual wrestling fan. So, like, to your point, he was that guy. Like, I did not know who any of these people are. I didn't watch indies like that. I knew who Cody Rhodes was.
Yeah, no. And like, I'm glad, like, he's a guy that just seems at peace with his decision and his life, like, where he is. Like, He's getting paid a lot of money to wrestle, which is something he enjoys doing. He gets to be, in the biggest stage, which he probably enjoys, and he gets to do what he wants to do. Like, he got it into his contract that he can go do, he's doing a TV show about traveling the country looking for, like, local distilleries. It's called American Spirits. Like, he can do his bad television shows still. Like, good for him. And
it seems like they're just gonna let him cook too. Like, it's, like on the mic and things like that. They let him have a Cody Rhodes ass match at WrestleMania. So,
well, they certainly did.
Do you know what?
$1 million worth of pyro going off of Cody.
His work style in AEW didn't work because he was an entertainer trying to do indie stuff. Now he's an entertainer doing indie stuff on WWE, where that's the whole point of it. Is you got to work a match. And you can't just go to spot to spot to spot. Like, and that's a big thing. Like, I don't know if you guys watched Revolution, the pay-per-view AEW did last month, but it was 3 hours of 500 miles per hour. Like, you're exhausted by the third match because everybody's just going fucking balls to the wall, and you're like, can I get a break? Can I breathe here?
That's the thing with AEW.
Like that too.
Yeah,
that's because I also. Like, apparently they don't have writers, right? They just like let the talent come up with the promos and stuff. That's like, it's instances like this. It's like where still being a young company is affecting them, but it's also like you could probably use some writers, honestly.
Yep.
Like just to give some good direction.
Not all their talent can work a promo.
Yeah, use some
realistically, how many wrestlers in the world should be allowed to do their own stories? Like,
a lot less than people think.
Like when MJF is on like Edgelord 10,000 levels, I'm like,
and we can reel it back a little bit. Just reel it. Like, and that's the thing. MJF and WWE will probably be better than MJF and AEW because he won't have the crutches of being able to say whatever he wants, right? Like, people think that's a good thing, and in some cases it absolutely is. Roman Reigns being able to say what he wants as Roman Reigns is much better than what WWE wanted him to say. The difference is WWE has like guidelines for him, like, hey, this is what we want you to hit. Also, you can't say something like this. And everything else, free game. He said that listening to John Cena talk was like missionary. Right? And 40% of that audience does not know what missionary is, right? Like, they don't know. But you know what? The 60% that do, they got a kick out of it because it also felt. It was like, hey, it felt more real, right? Because you're like, ooh, can he say that, right? Whereas MJF just goes
WWE airwaves.
Yeah, MJF just keeps saying that you're a punk bitch and that you're mid. Like, and it's like, look, he's very good at calling people bitches and saying people are mid. However, the shock in all things, they're not. It doesn't. It's wearing off because at some point, being surprised that you can say whatever you want stops happening when you keep saying whatever you want, right? So that's where in a year or two he's going to start talking about how Tony Khan's a bitch, and people are like, wait, can he say that?
Bro, he's out here calling people cucks. Like, what's? Come on, bro. Relax a little bit.
Look,
hey, man.
You know what?
TNT, sir.
Like, that's the thing, right? It stings. It absolutely works, but eventually, you keep crossing the. You either keep crossing the line and you go into a territory where you shouldn't talk about things, right? You shouldn't say something. You do that. There's like three things. You do that. You become Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, where they just keep saying whatever they want, and it just is completely off-putting.
They need to chill out.
Like, nobody cares. No one thinks. First off, you are two good-looking people. You cannot be the baby faces. I'm sorry, but if you're two good-looking people, I'm not rooting for you. I'm sorry. All right, I'm a good-looking guy myself, but I'm not like that level of handsome, right? I'm rooting for your downfall. I'm actively rooting for your downfall because if you tell me that you're so hot and everything, it's different that I say it because I'm not like, it's like, oh, Grumm's a handsome guy himself. But he's humble, right? He doesn't flaunt it. But once you start flaunting it, that's a problem. And I cannot wait for the people to beat you up. And I want your face to be mangled. I don't want to see your face looking the same in a month from now. I want your face to have a scar on it. I want you to be mangled. I want you to be disfigured because I don't want you to be happy, Sammy Guevara. I don't want your happiness to be on my television.
Damn.
I didn't know you had that much hate in your heart for Sammy Guevara. Let it out. I feel like this has been weighing on your mind for a little bit, bro.
Look, I'm tired. He's mid. He's aggressively mid. He's the Joker of wrestlers in the sense that like the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix was aggressively mid. He is that. He just doesn't. Nothing he does is great. He's replaceable.
I don't watch AEW. Like I can't watch full matches. It just doesn't work with my schedule. So like I see like mostly through YouTube clips, and he's okay. You know, he's got some great moments, but you know,
he'll do the crazy spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right. Look, but here's the thing: everybody on that goddamn roster will do a crazy spot. They just hired another guy to do a crazy spot. They got Darby Allin doing crazy spots. Jeff Hardy, Sting.
I was gonna say they have Sting jumping through tables.
They got Santana Sting. They got Santana Ortiz doing crazy shit. CM Punk's doing crazy shit. They got a lot of people doing a lot of crazy shit. This goes back to the talk about the Revolution.
Another Texas death match this week.
How many just I understand there are a set of hardcore fans that enjoy their shows to be bang 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 bang. I can appreciate that. Like I said, but there's pacing of it, right? Like every match can't be 500 miles per hour because then you're not going to enjoy the matches that are 500 miles per hour because you're trying to catch up. That's why the Mox versus Bryan match, everybody's saying it's a dead crowd because it was, right? Like that crowd was legitimately just like, okay. And then William Regal comes out and they're like, holy shit, yeah. And it breathes new life in because they just needed a chance to sit down and breathe. And no one was giving that. Whereas, but hey, the crowd was dead for Brock Lesnar versus, Roman Reigns, despite everybody who was in attendance was like, yeah, no, they're legit ready for this crowd. Like, everybody wants this match. I just can't.
Yeah, I mean,
when something's so anticipated, people just watch. Like, like when they really they just watch. They won't make a sound. So.
It's just wild, man. This the Duchess of Queensberry match. That crowd was hot for it, right?
Hot crowd.
You love
that crowd.
Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were in the Windy City, which is why Chris Jericho said that Queensberry must be the ugly city, because he had to make.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Chris Jericho was extremely disrespectful. Like.
Well,
that's
lost,
royalty.
So that's the Duchess. That's a Duchess you're talking to.
Have some respect.
The Duchess tapping out in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, no couth. No couth.
Man.
Zero. None. He had, and he's mad that he's not prepared for the match. Right? He gets a lion tamer. He's going for the pin. The bell rings, and the Duchess is like, "Hey, that's round one." And he was mad. He's like, "Wait. There's a round to this? Like, that's your fault. You should have Googled it." They Googled
I go take a test and I don't study for it. Like I expect not to fail. Like you know what I mean? Like,
right? The whole point of it is to.
She was in the arena the whole day. It looks like. I mean, there's plenty of time to have a small chat, go over the rules a couple times.
Yeah, she was clearly she was fine telling Coach Burnett. She could have sent somebody else to it. I don't it's just, you calling her ugly, saying, comparing her to looking like Regal in the same outfit. Uncouth.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was still making those kind of jokes 20 years later is just boggling my mind.
Yes.
That poor woman had any idea what she was signing up for when they were like, you're going to be the Duchess, we're going to put you in this outfit.
Bro, you saw that wig. Did you see that wig?
I think, so I'm not sure, but I think that was Sue Atchison, who does all their Make-A-Wish stuff, or did all their Make-A-Wish stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
I know,
right? She worked for the company for 30 years. She got I think that was her. She was blah, 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 blah. She was she got the Warrior Award at the 2019 Hall of Fame.
You know,
Yeah.
Vince presented her to this and it made it sound awesome. And then she's seen the fucking wig she had to put on. She's like, I can't believe I signed up for this bullshit.
She must have thought it was from the 1700s.
Oh wait, sorry. So she was the Duchess of Queensberry, but she portrayed the Duchess of Queensberry at the next pay-per-view, WWF Insurrection. She's not credited for the she's not credited for the Backlash one. Let me see if I can find who was.
So you're telling me the Duchess showed up again? I hope she got revenge on Chris Jericho. I hope she got it in blood.
She gets Chris in the walls of Jericho, has him tapping out in the middle of the
Yeah. Pulls the lion saw out of nowhere. How you like that, Chris?
I'm trying to see if
Duchess is one of the best workers in the world. We just never knew about it.
Just never know.
I know, right?
Never knew about it. Do I have any like trivia on it? No.
I mean, I guess as far as the wrestling itself, I mean, it's William Regal and Chris Jericho. Like, what do you know?
Oh, yeah, nah. And like prime Chris Jericho, you know they're gonna put on a hell of a match. I mean,
Yeah, prime Regal, like it's.
Shout out Regal now, low key doing some of the best stuff in AEW with his little faction he got going on with Mox.
Oh no, that is her. That is Sue Atchison. That is
She got it.
Yeah, no, that was her in 2001. Also, fun, in 2018, William Regal tweeted, "The Duchess of Queensberry, who accompanied me while I feuded with I Am Jericho. The royal family eventually had to put her in a home for wayward nobility, as she had that many illegitimate offspring that she had to have her pelvic floor laminated."
Bro, what?
Oh,
Are you?
He tweeted that. He tweeted that.
What the hell was he on? Like what?
what was he? What was he? I mean, that was
It was
well over a
2018.
decade.
Yeah, that's
2018.
That was
What?
4 years ago. Yeah.
Regal must have been feeling frisky or something. Damn.
Yeah. No, he
Hey man, he was off the bottle. He had the Duchess in mind. He was thinking about her a little bit.
she said that she needed her pelvic floor laminated. What?
I don't like the word pelvic floor.
Yeah. Listen, I don't
Like that
think
at all.
whatever he meant, it wasn't good.
No,
it was not nice.
No, that was Sue. And the thing is, he said that about the woman who would later be the 2019 Warrior Award recipient. Uncouth. You know what? Maybe he deserved to be released by the WWE. You know, maybe they just didn't do it in time at the right time. That's not true.
I'm imagining a meeting when he got fired and they just pulled the tweet up on a giant board. Like, did you say this?
No,
we can't have you here.
I didn't
have you working here, sir.
No, I did not say that. No, sir. No.
He's just sitting there screaming pelvic floor.
Regal,
Yeah,
did you
Regal
say
walking
pelvic
about
floor?
pelvic
No.
Is that just how Mosley, Will McKay? If you is this just how you guys talk? Is this like when you're in the mood? Yeah. Is this part of your lingo? I'd like to know.
Yeah, here. Let me go get I'll get the link so I can ask them when we're done. Like, yo, do you guys really talk like this? Is this how you guys talk over there?
I know a few British stuff, but that's one I haven't heard before.
Pelvic floor laminated. What the fuck?
No one ever said that William Regal wasn't a wordsmith. Okay, that's one thing.
That's true. That is true.
He sure knows a way with it.
He does. But yeah, other standouts of the Paul Heyman was incredible on commentary.
His bag.
Paul was in his bag. Him looking at JR and saying, "It's right here in the notes." JR was so fucking funny.
And just being like, of course, yes, no disqualifications. This is right here. In when I was recording this so I could show it to you guys, I was like, yo, that is hilarious, because Paul Heyman is an animated guy even behind the desk, whereas like everybody else is like kind of like looking at the monitor. Paul Heyman's like looking at the monitor. He's still animated, which is why I loved him with JR, because he made JR get animated as well. And JR is,
that's why McAfee's great. He'll get into it. Yeah.
If you have
Cole's been getting into it,
like that's why I like when NXT was like highlighting Mauro Ranallo's like reactions, I enjoyed that because I enjoy somebody who has energy and passion for what they're doing. sometimes he got a little too far over the top with everything.
What was this? The big energy shout out to Lotto tweet. I was like, yeah. Oh no, was that Durs? I think Durs posted.
Yeah, Durs posted that.
Yeah, no, Durs hit one out the park. I was dying.
Like, it's just like, what are we doing here with like all the, like, it's insane that like people taste is subjective, right? Like people are like got mad at Corey Graves because he was like, damn, like Maul really sucking the air out of the place. Like he's you know, it's not like he's got, you know, a Hall of Famer next to him and a incredible champion in Nigel McGuinness. Like, no siree, wouldn't know that though. And like people are like, boo, shut up, Corey, you suck. And it's like, buddy, he's just making a valid criticism. Like, a guy talks a lot and talks a lot for a 3-man booth.
He's also the heel commentator, supposed to get this reaction out of you. He's doing his job.
He's working.
Yeah. It's like, it is, as I've gotten older and just being in like, all right, this is just everything is pure and everything's a work. Like none of it's for real.
It's all
like, it's all a work in wrestling. It's made it so much better to not get involved in like, oh, like this. It's like, all right, I'll get worried about like, you know, like, oh, cool, like another reason for Gable Steveson to not be, you know, to not drink around Gable Steveson. You know.
Yeah, it's been a rough week.
Like, it's just like, oh, all right, well, you know, they're still good. You know what? I'm gonna focus on the good in wrestling, and I'll only be like, yeah, no, this is shit. Like, this shouldn't be. Like, I don't need to see Matt Riddle on my television all that much. Like, it's a shame because I would like him if he wasn't a dirtbag human. But he's a dirtbag human. Same with Austin Theory. Like, it's a shame that, you know, bad people are succeeding. You never like to see it.
It's the world we live in, my friend.
Yeah.
Like a good person like William Regal, though, who was only just addicted to painkillers and was dealing with his own shit.
I wanted to say this.
Yeah.
I don't like anything that AEW names. Like, there's not a good group name.
You don't like Blackpool Combat Club?
It feels so basic to me. I don't know. It's like,
I don't like Jericho appreciation.
Yeah, the Jericho. Like, what are we doing? Like, are you? This is just a cult, right? Like,
I like the concept of it. I hate the name. I hate that it looks like a fucking Justice Society of America logo. Like,
they got 2.0 wearing suspenders. Like,
but no, they're better than when they were in WWE. I'm telling you that right now. It's, you know, it's like.
But yeah, I don't like the Undisputed Elite. Like, eye roll.
Is that what they're actually calling those three?
Allegedly, from what I've gathered, and I'm just like. I'm like, the L just gets bigger and bigger sometimes.
He ran. Adam Cole ran from the grind to be in the Undisputed Elite. Boo earth. Just so they can throw up the UE still. Bro, I hope WWE hits them. Like, oh, they're doing the hand gesture. That's a WWE thing.
Well, they did that with the Young Bucks, right? When they were doing like once Too Sweet got a little,
yeah. I want WWE to put the pressure. I want Vince to put the thumb on Tony Khan a little bit, you know. Because like, to me, people get upset with that.
Wanted to. He could be a dick and just really hit them with all these petty lawsuits.
If he really wanted to,
he really could. Here's the thing. Apparently, I don't know if Cody Rhodes owns he himself owns the trademarks.
Yeah, he owns the song. He owns, he's got.
No, not for his stuff, but for some, like, he owns unless he got it, unless it went to AEW. Like, Battle for the Belts is a Florida Championship like wrestling trademark show that Cody got from WWE.
Oh yeah, I think I did know about that.
Like, he put in the trademarks for. So there's trademarks that are associated with AEW that I don't know if AEW actually owns, and they're owned by WWE superstar Cody Rhodes.
That's very funny, and I'm pretty sure I'd say that they're promoting the Battle of the Belts. I think like in the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, it's soon.
So I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure Cody has just said, yeah, like, I'll sell to you. You know,
yeah, I'm sure, or like you can use it this time. Like, I'm sure Cody's not doing bad business.
No.
Cody would be petty and just I hope everyone's enjoying my tournament.
Cody's a
Live
politician.
battle of
He's
the
gonna
belts.
make sure
Oh, yeah.
everybody he goes out the right way.
Oh yeah. Look, there's one thing he got from his dad. It's being so making sure you're always on top. But by the way, Tony Khan too rich to be tweeting the way he does. Just way too rich.
I mean, I just don't know what to say that hasn't already been said.
Holeless
Tony Khan's a
behavior.
nerd with money. We all know this.
Well, look, there's a lot of nerds with money, and for some reason they all suck at tweeting. Like they just, I don't understand. I feel like
It's interesting.
Like, if you gave me their money, you know what I would do? Not be on Twitter as much. Like, I just simply would not be on Twiter as much. Vince McMahon has that much money.
Are you?
I'm not gonna lie, I'd post bullshit. I would post absolute bullshit. Not like just blind hate. I might just post like random thoughts that just like come out of like nowhere.
Be billionaire JTR is just like,
Yeah,
y'all,
bro. Like,
y'all ever think about like grabbing a cow by the udder and just holding on to it? See how
I'm like, were vans always flat at the bottom? Like, is that what that always?
You're like, man, like these clouds, man, and that's the tweet. It's just these clouds, man, nothing else.
I do like looking at some clouds. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, who doesn't? They're great. It's the simple things in life, you know.
You know who was seeing clouds?
Who's seeing
Chris
clouds?
Jericho.
Yeah,
Chris Jericho got hit with that staff.
got hit with the staff, and they're like, "Look, no!" Immediately, Tim White's like, "Ding, ding, ding!" Like the referee also doesn't know the rules, which is a problem in and of itself. That's a systemic problem. But then he's calling for the disqualification, and the Queen's like, "Nah, it's not. There's no DQs. Like you can't. That's not a rule."
I mean, disrespect to the Duchess by all, really.
Yeah.
Referee, Chris, everyone besides Heyman. Really.
Yeah, Heyman's the only, and William Regal the only people to show any respect. I mean, JR
certainly didn't.
JR was talking wild when she was right there next to him.
JR said something like she was a lovely lady. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
It felt like
trying his number over to her at the end of this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
see where you're going.
Milady.
Yeah. He said she's as much of a but I don't know if you heard. He said she's as much of a Duchess, Paul, as you are a queen. Like, and I'm like, I don't know who you're supposed to be offending with that, but you're offending somebody, JR.
Yes. Yeah, that's that Oklahoma
woman, beans and barbecue sauce.
Which is the second. So I was watching. I showed somebody the time Big Show's dad was pulled off of the hole by Big Boss Man at his funeral.
Oh my god!
And we watched the ensuing Survivor Series match where Big Show goes through like Big Boss Man's entire team and then chases Big Boss Man out of the ring and everything. And JR said that the Big Show was going through that team like a salt through a wounded woman, and I don't understand that. Yeah. That was my reaction.
I don't know what that reference is, but it sounds bad.
It does sound bad. It sounds like one of those like Midwest Southern
JR said this?
JR said it.
Oh, nice. That's
like,
highly questionable.
I need to like you know what? I meant to Google it, but I'm gonna Google it now. Is salt through a wounded woman.
That's a red flag.
I know it's about to be some nasty business coming up on Grumm's phone.
I'm trying to. It doesn't show. I don't know why. Like it might have just been like wounded because it's like salt through a wound was the first thing that came up.
Right.
I'm trying to see if there's any like just salt through a wound. Is that to rub salt in someone's rub salt? They make the unpleasant situation that you are in even worse. Often by reminding. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like I don't know. Like is it? I don't get this.
But I'm like, was JR getting real specific with something?
Yeah, that's what I'm I don't know. Was he was this during his time where he was in his Mall Renault bag and he was just making references to things and like because I was 7 when that match happened, I didn't get it. I was like, I don't know what happened in 1999. But yeah, no, that was everybody was being disrespectful to the Duchess. She was just trying to enjoy her friend William Regal's wrestling match.
I mean, I feel like the most lost thing here is William Regal's the victim here. That man had pee in his tea.
Listen, he was just trying to do his job, Diggy. That's all he was trying to do.
Yeah, getting harassed in the workplace. Didn't go to HR. Man, a principal. If you look at it that way, really.
He'll still engage in fisticuffs. You know, that's the kind of man he is.
Look,
man.
He's such a man. He's he's a real man's man. He won though. You know what? He got to win. He got to the face of victory with holding his friend, the Duchess of Queensberry, in his arm, while she had just
walked
been
out with the Duchess on his arm.
Laid
out in the ring.
That's a real winner. He got royalty on his arm. You know, he got royalty. Not many people got royalty on their arm. They think they got queens. They think they got queens.
Oh,
right. But they're not like me and Regal. Wow. We got actual. Me and William Regal, we have royalty on our arms. You know.
Oh, talk that talk.
But yeah, no, it was a fun look. That might be the best match that we watched on the Dork side. I'm thinking I'm trying to think of match. I did the Firefly Funhouse, and that wasn't so much a match, but it was still fun to watch. Yeah, no, I mean the King of the Road match, Diggy, was fun.
Still upset we haven't seen a King of the Road match in recent times. I'm still waiting for that match to happen.
Never
waiting for Never again. Off the top of a truck and frog splash into the bed of it. That would be fantastic.
Look, there's since that happened, since we did that episode, NXT 2.0 has been a thing. I'd love to see Braun Breaker spearing at somebody from one end of the truck to the other. That'd be great to watch. Gacy. Yeah, Walter is over. Walter's over back is in the U.S. now, full time. So we get some Gunther. We get some Gunther. Yeah. Just slapping the shit out of people, power bombing. I want a King of the Road match. It's Gunther versus a road truck stop. It's just a whole bunch of guys. Hey, this guy said you guys couldn't take him in a fight. You want to take him in, and then just it's like Roadhouse. I just want Gunther just beating up, doing it all.
I would say bring back vignettes. You know what I mean? A good vignette of Walter doing this, or Gunther doing this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Gunther's rolling up in the local bar, he's wrecking house. Oh,
incredible! Would be incredible stuff. But as we come to the close here, we're gonna get your final thoughts here. We'll start with you, JTR. Final thoughts on your time on the Dork side today, from the match, the conversations we had, and all of it.
I mean, it was a great time. Nothing much more to say than that. I don't know, man. Chris Jericho, relax. That's really it. Just relax sometimes, man. That's all I got.
Yeah. You just gotta be, doing too much. He started
too much.
It was good when he put his face on the William Regal's face. I thought that would be the Duchess of Queensberry. He cooked him there, got him there. But
it's just 2000s wrestling.
Yeah. It was just
anytime a wrestler picks up a microphone in 2000, you got to be ready to hear something.
It's like, oh yeah, you're already tugging on your shirt collar. You're like,
you see the video where they're like John Cena speaking Chinese during his promo, and it's him actually speaking Mandarin, and then they're like The Rock speaking Chinese, and he's just wholly offensive. Is just doing the worst offensive stuff, and it's like people are like, yeah, that's what, and JR King's like, ha! on the fucking
my King.
He's like, yeah, that's a good joke. God, oh man, I just remembered he's gonna be on
King was unbearable at the panel. I don't know how much you saw it. He was.
Thank God King wasn't calling that match we just watched, because he would have said some foul shit about the queen that is the Duchess.
Well, Dork,
he was gone at this time, right?
Yeah, this is the time where he was in a relationship with Stacy the Cat Carter, and she said, "I need more money. I'm a star." And Vince said, "No, you're fucking not. Shut the fuck up." She's like, "I'm gonna quit." He goes, "Okay." And then Jerry the King Lawler was like, "Hey Vince, give her a little bit more money," and he goes, "No." And he's like, "Well, I got to quit then too. I'm sticking with her." And he goes, "Okay, bye, Jerry." He's like, "Oh shit, I thought that that's oh damn, I thought that would work out for me." And then they just and then a week later, Paul Heyman basically shows up as the announcer, and then everybody in ECW is like, "Damn, we really are going out of business. Our boss has got a new job." Well, shit.
Yeah,
But it was a good that year without JR on the call, WrestleMania 17, regarded as the greatest WrestleMania of all time. The King wasn't on it, so
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah, a coincidence, perhaps. Causation? I'd say so. But yeah, Diggy, what about you? Takeaways from the Duchess of Queensberry and everything that we talked about on the Dork side.
Hey man, fun as always. Great time chatting with y'all about some good old wrestling. I'm just happy to see William Regal come out on top after how he was so wrongly done by Chris Jericho, and I'm happy to see him walk out with the Duchess with her back still intact after a horrible Walls of Jericho
Horrible. It was just
and that bad man Chris Jericho put on her.
that man peed in another man's drink while he was just simply doing his job.
It's
It's just,
Nasty work. Nasty work.
logic,
all around.
wrestling logic.
That said, I want a bad guy to piss in somebody's drink now. Like, just do it. Like, just we need more evil guys. Like, I mean, I was talking about Big Boss.
JTR will piss in Adam Cole's drink right now. if you need him to.
Hey,
And I'll piss in Sammy Guevara's, so it will be good. But I was talking about like the Big Boss Man was an evil human being. He absolutely evil. He fed a man his dog. He stole another man's father off of a grave. He's a bad man. We need more bad villain, like just despicable humans on television as an entertainment purpose, not in real life. We need
Agree.
somebody.
Strongly agree.
I need like damn, I don't know who would be the most like cowardly. I need like the Miz pissing in somebody's drink. That's what I need. I need the Miz.
I feel like the lane that Happy Corbin could fill.
Oh, you know what?
no,
That's
Happy
true.
Corbin's
Happy-
perfect. That's
Happy-
perfect.
yeah,
I'll say
yeah.
it's a little too.
Yeah, it's a little.
Miz is a little
underneath
too
Miz.
high class for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but the Happy Corbin
would
Happy.
absolutely.
I need Happy Corbin pissing in Madcap's drink. Yeah, that's what needs it. That's that's
You know, I can
Yeah,
actually
indeed,
see it.
correct.
Yep. So, gentlemen, thank you guys for coming on again. One last time, let the people know where they can find you if you want to be found and all that stuff. We'll start with you, Diggy.
Yeah, like I said, just on Twitter at bdig89. Find me on there. Tweeting not very often, but if you can take a look, see what you see over there. Probably won't like much. It's there.
Oh, also, if you have any causes or anything you guys want to plug, you guys can as well.
Got nothing.
Nothing. All right, JTR. How about you? If you want to be found or any causes you'd like to raise awareness for.
I mean, if you really want to, on Twitter at El Jefe Jacobe. I really not on there. You know, I'll post some things sometimes, but it's, you know, you'll see me if you see me. Any causes? It's gonna come crazy coming for me, but we can be a little nice to each other in the world, right? Like this,
Yeah.
we can be mean in jest, and this is all fun time, but we can be like nicer to each other, like actually, right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely co-sign that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Oh, you got anything else or?
Nah, my fault.
Okay.
You good?
Oh, good. Oh, good. Hey,
I got one other thing. Pretty much official, but you're 2 seed Boston Celtics at the moment, just so y'all know.
Oh,
Hey!
hey. Listen.
That's
Is
interesting.
there a certain team that wears red and blue that's stinking it up? Diggy? Not again, right? Not after the process.
I'm pretty sure there was a team that it's in the Philly area that was in like the top of the standings for a little bit. I mean, I don't know what happened.
Philadelphia? No, could it be? It just couldn't be.
I mean, they got big games, Jane Harden, known playoff assassin.
I heard they had the MVP.
they do. They do have the MVP. Damn it, they absolutely do. I'm waiting for the. I was waiting for the actual slander to start. I'm like, wait a second, hold on, Aaron, hold on. Hold on
This is
here.
going.
We also have the Eric Bischoff of coaches in Doc Rivers.
That's a tough comparison.
Hey, I like that comparison.
Look,
That's good.
That's the one that JTR had that one. He said,
Listen, in hindsight, I'm like, hey, listen, that's tough for Doc.
That's
That's
tough
tough
for
for Eric.
That's
That's
so
tough
tough.
for
Yeah, like we might have to find a different one. We may have to call him like Kevin Sullivan or something. Like I don't know, but like, well, yeah, he was good for what he was doing, but yeah, look, congrats to your team for getting to play the Nets in the first round again.
I'm scared.
I'm not. I wouldn't be scared, to be honest. I don't even think. Look, they gotta win a game. They gotta win one game, and that team has struggled to win one game. There's a reason why they're they are where they are. Multiple reasons. But hey, look, if I heard that there was a report that the Nets think that Ben Simmons might play, and that'll be so funny to watch him come back and get cooked by Jason Tatum. It'll, because it won't be me watching him get cooked by Jason Tatum.
I'm low-key looking forward, if that does happen, for the Grumm Ben Simmons slander train.
Oh, it's gonna be nasty.
I look, as somebody who has defended and backed him and had to eat crow on literally everything. I still think that he has the makings of a good player, but if he starts getting fucking cooked, it's loaded up, man. I'm ready to go. That man.
Grumm got tweets in the drafts to unload on that man.
I've got tweets in the draft. I've got Instagram drafts. I've got just thoughts that I've kept in the closet. It'll be scary times for Ben Simmons. He, like I said, when the Nets came to Philly and he was sitting on the bench, and everybody, I'm like, I would have had to get thrown out because I would have kept giving it to him even when we were down 20. Like I don't care. I came to boo you, my man. I paid thousands of dollars to boo you. I'm gonna boo you.
Mm-hmm. Your money's worth in those boos. Absolutely.
We've been Philadelphia. So I wouldn't have dressed up like a baby though. I wouldn't have gone that far because like I don't need props. I'd just be going like like you bum. I'd be that deep boo from like my thighs, bringing it all the way up. Mm-hmm. That's what he would have heard.
That's strong.
Yeah, it's kind of hardcore. I've never really. The only time I'll really boo is at a wrestling show. That's really it. Like,
it's hey man, everything's wrestling, man. Like you know.
Listen, that's how I've lived my life. That's the philosophy I've been living with, and it's just like I might have ruined my entire mind because like nothing. Everything is a work.
Everything is a work.
Everything is a work.
Everything.
It just is. It just is. Well, this was not a work. On a shoot, this was a lot of fun. This was good. Good times chatting with two pals. Strong representation of the New England area. Strong.
That's right. That's right. I'm on Boston side this time. This time. I'm still praying on the Patriots' downfall, though. Believe me, I'm getting Belichick out of here.
We were having such a good show, JT. I don't know why we had to start.
Hey, listen.
At the end.
You know what? Let me retract this. Mac Jones kind of grew on me a little bit. I saw him hanging out with the kid. I saw him hanging out with the kids. I'm like, all right, I can root for him a little bit. I'm just praying on Belichick's downfall.
Hey, you ain't the only one. That's you and everyone else that's not in the Boston area. So
hey.
It is all good. Hey guys, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Love you guys, and I can't wait to get you guys on again.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thank you, JTR. Thank you, Diggy, my pals, for coming on, having a good time, being great guests. And I'm going to try to keep this short, this exit in the outro part short. I would like to keep this under 2 hours for you, the listener. I'm looking out for you. So thank you guys. Next week's episode is a good one. It is the long-awaited PN News episode. Myself, Kista, and making their return, Whack Human Being, talking about PN News, an incredible podcast. The amount of range, again, it is always good, especially, this is the first time I've mixed having somebody on for the first time and having somebody who knew what they were getting themselves into, so it was good fun. PN News, fun topic, and I didn't even get to the best part. We didn't even cover the best part about PN News, which is a future Dork Side of the Ring topic, the infamous scaffold match involving PN News. Is a good episode next week. So check that out. Thank you guys for continuing to support us. Hey, also, if you're listening to this before May 12th, 8 p.m., twitch.tv/boomdaba. That's right, last week's guest. That's BOOMBAHDA. Boomdaba. Well, I spelled that wrong. I did that wrong. It's Boomdaba, not Boombada. BOOMDABAH. Boomdaba. Myself and Boom. I think we might be doing an Elden Ring race. Or we might do like a Nuzlocke thing. I don't know. We're going to keep talking about it and figure out exactly what we're doing. But myself and Boom Dabal, we're going to be doing goofs for the charity of the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It'll be good stuff. And just rambling on much like I am right now. Thank you guys. So go check us out. That's on the 12th. And I'll have a link on next week's episode for sure of how you can help Boomba and Team RP, my friends, Team Roleplay, doing their damn thing in helping kids and families dealing with cancer. So thank you guys. Continue to support us for free at Dorkside Ring on Twitter and Instagram. Join Grumm.tv. There's a greater Grummunity. And if you would like to support us, support.grumm.tv. That's the Patreon, so you can get these episodes early. You get all the nice fun stuff that you can see there on the screen when you go to support.grumm.tv. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys here next week. PN News, where we won't take that seriously, because wrestling is better when no one is taking it seriously. I'm Grumm, and I will see you guys here next week on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast.